You're listening to the Options Insider Radio Network. For more quality options programs, visit www.theoptionsinsider.com or search for Options Insider Radio Network in your podcast provider of choice. Listeners can also access all of our programming through our mobile app, available in iTunes and on Google Play.
The options market can be a confusing place. Sorting through the daily avalanche of data, alerts, updates, articles, and analysis to find the most important information is an overwhelming prospect. But now you have help. Welcome to the Options News Rundown, the only program that breaks through the noise to bring you the most important news and information from the world of options. Every day we bring you the top 5 option stories curated by the options experts at theoptionsinsider.com, the premier source for free options information. The Options News Rundown is brought to you by Market Taker Mentoring, the leader in option trader education. Get trader education, daily trade ideas, and more with a free 1-week trial of Market Taker Mentoring's live Advantage group coaching class by visiting markettaker.com/insider. And now it's time to break through the noise. It's time for your Options News Rundown.
Good morning. Today is May 16th. 2018. This is your Options News Rundown. I'm Dan Passarelli. Our first story today is from investing.com. It's the top 5 things to know in the market on Wednesday. First thing to know is Macy's quarterly report is in focus. Macy's is one of the last notable names slated to report fiscal first quarter results before U.S. markets open on Wednesday, as the earnings season continues to wind down. The retailer is expected to report earnings of 40 cents per share on revenue of $5.42 billion, according to estimates. Investors will likely be particularly interested in how adverse winter weather across much of the U.S. in the first 3 months of the year affected same-store sales. Second thing to know today is U.S. housing data and Fed speakers are on tap. Market players will focus on U.S. housing sector data to gauge the strength of the world's largest economy and how it will impact monetary policy in the months ahead. The Commerce Department at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time is expected to report building permits fell 2.3% from a month earlier to 1.347 million units, while housing starts are forecast to fall 0.7% to 1.31 million units. Third thing to know today is the dollar firms near 5-month highs, and the 10-year yield is at 3.06%. The dollar held firm near prior day's 5-month high as U.S. Treasury yields remained near their recent peaks. The U.S. dollar index was last at 93.25, a shade higher on the day. It climbed to the highest since mid-December at 93.35 on Tuesday. Meanwhile, the U.S. 10-year Treasury yield stood at around 3.06% in early action after surging to a 7-year peak of 3.095% last session. The Fed-sensitive 2-year yield was 2.58%, not far from its highest level since August of 2008. Fourth thing to know today is Dow futures point to a quiet start. U.S. stock futures were little changed, indicating the Dow could struggle to rebound from its 200-point decline on Tuesday. And the fifth thing to know today is oil slips ahead of IEA supply report. The U.S. Energy Information Administration will release its official weekly oil supplies for the week ended May 11th at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, amid forecasts for an oil stock drop of 763,000 barrels. Analysts also forecast a fall of 1.4 million barrels for gasoline stockpiles, while distillate inventories are expected to drop by 2.1 million barrels. Our second story today is from NASDAQ.com. 5 takeaways from Starbucks earnings report. Recently, Starbucks had its second fiscal quarter earnings report with a muted reaction from the market. Sales increased 14%, but that figure was boosted by an extra 5% from the consolidation of the East China business, along with foreign currency tailwinds. While earnings per share grew only 4.4%, that number was negatively impacted by restructuring costs associated with Teavana stores, as well as impairments in Switzerland. However, stripping these factors out, earnings per share was up a strong 17.8% on a non-GAAP basis. Starbucks is now a sprawling global colossus with 28,209 stores across 76 markets. So attempting to assess the overall state of the business requires parsing several puts and takes. And our third story today is from LiveTradingNews.com. Chicago agricultural commodities finished higher. Chicago Board of Trade agricultural commodities traded mixed Tuesday morning, with soybean futures rising as the trade tensions between China and the United States showed signs of softening. CBOT brokers estimate that funds Tuesday sold 6,500 contracts of soybeans, bought 2,000 contracts of Chicago wheat, and 1,500 contracts of corn. Corn was higher 5 3/4 cents at 422.05 or 0.05 a bushel at the close. July wheat was 2 1/4 cents higher at 4.93 cents a bushel. July soybeans were up 1.5 cents at 10.18 3/4 a bushel. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is news you can use. For today, May 16th, 2018, your Options News Rundown. I'm Dan Passarelli, Trade Smart, and have a great day.
Thank you for listening to the Options News Rundown. To learn more about these stories or any other developments from the world of options, visit www.theoptionsinsider.com, the premier source for free options information. The Options News Rundown is brought to you by Market Taker Mentoring, the leader in option trader education. Get trader education, daily trade ideas, and more with a free 1-week trial of Market Taker Mentoring's live Advantage group coaching class by visiting markettaker.com/insider.
The preceding program was a production of the Options Insider Radio Network. For more quality options programs, visit www.theoptionsinsider.com or search for Options Insider Radio Network in your podcast provider of choice. Listeners can also access all of our programming through our mobile app, available in iTunes and on Google Play. Don't forget to follow along with your favorite programs and submit your own questions for the hosts at twitter.com/options, facebook.com/theoptionsinsider, or via questions@theoptionsinsider.com.